Okay, in last class we have discussed about Big M method and different way how we can solve a Big M method. Either the problem has greater than type of constraint, equality type of constraint, and whatever less than equality and equality type of constraint. Any problem can be solved either simple simplex or Big M method. And we have also seen that every time not required artificial variable. To find out the basic feasible solution, every time it is not required, we have to add the artificial variables. So some cases we have seen in the last classes related to that, in which sometimes we use artificial variable to find out the basic feasible solution. In some problem, we have also seen that no requirement of artificial variable. So in this class, some special cases I will discuss related to the simplex algorithm. Just like we have seen in graphical method, the different aspect of a solution. The solution may be unique one, the solution may be multiple optimal solution, and the solution of the problem may be, you can say, unboundness. And there is a possibility also that there is no solution exist. So we have seen for the graphical method, same way we can understand for the simplex algorithm. Now the question is that how we can understand, how we can get an idea about it, how a problem is unique solution problem, a problem belongs to the optimal solution, and the problem belongs to the multiple solution, unboundness, and no feasible solution in the simplex algorithm. How we will identify? So in today's class, I will only discuss these different special cases, or I can say the different aspect of the simplex algorithm termination criteria, by which we can understand the problem related to the unique solution, multiple solution, unboundness, and there is a possibility there is no solution, right? So, and today class content is unique. I will discuss already cover, this topic is already covered. Unique optimal solution means if all value of in the termination, if I'm going to discuss the termination condition of simplex method, if the problem belongs to the maxima, the termination condition is all Cj minus Zj value for the non-basic variable must be negative. If all Cj minus Zj value for non-basic variable is negative, it indicates the unique optimal solution. Till now, the number of problems we have discussed all related to the unique optimal solution problem, right? So this is unique optimal solution in simplex method is already covered in the previous lecture, and previous to that also we have discussed so many problems. In today's class, I will discuss alternate optimal solutions, unboundness, and infeasibility. If there is a time, if time allows us, then I will also discuss the degeneracy in the simplex algorithm, right? So, there are four aspects to be discussed while discussing terminations conditions. Means there are four possibilities in the simplex method. Either the solution may be unique, alternate, or unboundness and infeasible, right? So these aspects already we have seen in the graphical method. In graphical method, we can identify, there are the different criteria to identify. Now how we can identify in the case of simplex algorithm. Generally, these things can be understood with the help of termination criteria. Termination criteria in simplex method is Cj minus Z0. Cj minus Z0 indicates the termination condition for the simplex algorithm. So, unique optimal solution means we have already discussed so many problems we have discussed. The meaning of unique optimal solution, there is only one solution. The problem has only one solution. There is only one corner point at which the value is optimal, and optimal may be maximization and minimization that depend upon the requirement of the question. And what is the termination condition in the case of simplex in simplex method? If Cj minus Zj rho, if all value of Cj minus Zj rho for the non-basic variable is negative, that is the condition of unique optimal solution. Means till now, whatever the problem we have discussed in which we have seen, there is a unique optimal solution, right? So I'm not going to discuss that. These are the different expectations of any simplex algorithm. Just like unique solution, if all non-basic variables have negative value of Cj minus Zj. That represents unique optimal conditions, and simplex will terminate, give a unique optimal solution. The basic variable are either variables, decision variables, or select variable. That is depend upon the problem. But if all non-basic variables in Cj minus Zj rho is negative values, that is the condition of unique optimal solution. And we have seen in so many problems, all time I discussed about the Cj minus Zj rho, that is the termination condition. So the condition is termination is very simple, all Cj minus Zj must be negative to find out the unique optimal solution. Now if the problem belongs to the alternate optimum solution, what is the termination condition? All non-basic variable for Cj minus Zj less than or equal to 0. I have already discussed whenever we are solving simplex algorithm, during the solution of any iteration, we can easily observe always basic variable value in Cj minus Zj rho is always 0. And other than if negative, means for non-basic is negative, then if the problem of maxima problem. I am discussing this condition for maxima problem. If the problem belongs to the minima, so we can just say the vice versa. We just can say the vice versa for minima problem, or we can convert any minima problem into the maxima problem, then we can further solve it, right? Or vice versa, right? So if all non-basic variables for Cj minus Zj is less than or equal to 0, but at least one of the non-basic variable in Cj minus Zj rho indicates 0, then that is the problem belongs to the alternate optimal solution. How we identify in simplex method a problem belongs to the multiple optimal solution? If any of the non-basic variable in Cj minus Zj rho is 0, that condition indicates this problem has multiple optimal solution, because in next iteration that 0 will enter into the basic table, and entering of 0 does not affect the objective function. So the value of the objective function remains same, only the combination of decision variables or surplus lag variable will change. So I will discuss in the next slide how a problem can be identified belongs to the alternate, or you can say the multiple optimal solution. Unboundness. Unboundness generally occur in simplex method when we decide the key column. If all element of the key column is either negative or 0, means we are unable to find out the value of theta. We are unable to decide which variable will enter. Or if variable will enter having negative or 0 value, it means it can be increased up to the any indefinite value without violating any constraint. Are you getting my point? The meaning is simple that as long as we finding the key column, in that key column, if all the element either negative or 0, then it means theta is also negative and infinite. If theta is negative, the meaning of theta is negative is theta indicates the entering variable into the basic table. If theta is negative, the meaning of theta is that we can increase that value up to any extent without violating any constraint. Means we are unable to bound the boundary of the decision variables. So that is the condition of unboundness in the simplex algorithm, right? We will demonstrate with the help of example. Next slide. Infeasible solution. The meaning of infeasible solution means you can say if all value of Cj minus Zj is less than or equal to 0 for non-basic variables, means that we have reached to the termination, means the termination has arrived. Still artificial variable exists in the basic variable table, then we can say the problem does not have any solution. The problem does not have any solution. We will also demonstrate in the next slide, right? So slide by slide, step by step, I will discuss all the aspect of the termination criteria, of a simplex algorithm, on which basis we can define the problem belongs to the unique solution, alternate optimal solution, unboundness, and infeasibility. Suppose this is the problem belongs to the maximization. This problem belongs to the maximization. We have to maximize a objective function. These are the constraint of the objective function, and this is the non-negativity restriction. So the basic step in any, either it is unique, alternate, unboundness, and no feasible solution, we can always start to find out the initial basic feasible solution. And how we can get? By converting constraint into the equations. How we convert? All constraints are less than type. We have to add slack variables. Means the first equation become 2x1 plus x2 plus s1 is equal to 8. Second equation become 2x1 plus 5x2 plus s2 is equal to 20. Third equation become 2x1 plus 3x2 plus s3 is equal to 80. So many times we have discussed how we can calculate, how we can find the initial basic feasible solution. Again, I am repeating it so many times in previous examples. Every time I have discussed about it. So again, the objective function become z is equal to 4x1 plus 10x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2 plus 0s3. And the non-negativity restriction become s1 is also greater than 0, s2 is also greater than equal to 0, and s3 is also greater than equal to 0. Now, number of basic and non-basic variable to find out the initial basic feasible solution. N is the number of variable. Now the number of variable become 5. Number of equation is 3. So n minus m means 5 minus 3 become 2, become non-basic variable. Non-basic variable means we are fixing to the 0. And these non-basic variables we can assume x1 is equal to 0 and x2 is equal to 0. If I am taking x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 0 is non-basic variable, then the basic variable, the value of basic variable is s1 is equal to 8, s2 is equal to 20, and s3 is equal to 80. And the value of z at this condition is 0. That is the initial basic feasible solution. So this way we can get the initial basic feasible solution. Every time we have find the initial basic feasible solution because simplex method start from feasibility. Okay. After finding this, we can tabulate this result, and after tabulating, again by doing the iteration, we have to reach, we can reach to the solution. How we can reach to the solution? We know the termination criteria of simplex algorithm. What is the termination criteria? If all value of Cj minus Zj for non-basic variable is 0 and negative, that is the condition of termination. So step by step we can terminate just like this. We can proceed. So this is already I have discussed. This is the initial basic feasible solution, and we can tabulate this result for the first iteration. So this is the first iteration table, right? And what is this solution? This is the initial basic feasible solution. We have tabulated initial basic feasible solution, right? And we can easily calculate it. Firstly, we have to decide on the basis of Cj minus Zj, because this problem belongs to the maximization. If the problem belongs to the maximization, we have to look the maximum positive value. And the maximum positive value in Cj minus Zj row is 10. So this is indicating the key column, right? So this column is a key column, and on the basis of key column, we can say this x2 variable will enter in the next iteration. Now we have to decide which variable will leave from the basic table. And how we can decide that? On the basis of theta. And how can we calculate theta? Theta is simply calculated, just divided right hand side by the elements of key column. Means 10 divided by 1, 20 divided by 5, and 18 divided by 3. And we are getting the value 10, 4, 6. Out of this value, we have to select the least theta value. Least theta value indicate that variable will leave the basic variable table. So that row is called key row. Key row indicating this S2 will leave from the basic variable table, and this key column is representing this X2 will replace this S2 in the next iteration. And again, we have to find out the pivot element. And in that case, the pivot element is, we can easily understand, this is one. The pivot element is 5. So in next iteration, this 5 must be 1 and element other than this 5 in key column must be 0 by applying the matrix operation. That is the basic steps of this algorithm. So many times I have discussed in the previous lecture also. I have so many times I have discussed. So I am just moving forward. So this is the again first iteration. We are getting this second iteration. In this second iteration, we have to make first 1. And how we can make? By dividing 5. If we divide this equation by 5, so 2 by 5, 1, 0, 1 by 5, 0 and 4. And other than this element, this first and 3 must be 0 by applying the matrix operation. And always apply matrix operation other than the key row. Right? So by applying this matrix operation, we are getting the value 0 and 0 here. Again, we are calculating Cj minus Zj. Now we can see this Cj minus Zj is indicating the termination of this algorithm. What is the termination criteria? The simple. If all value of Cj minus Zj is either 0 or negative for non-basic variable. If all value is negative or 0 for non-basic variable, that is the termination condition of simplex algorithm. So you can say this is the termination condition. But you can easily observe one of the non-basic variable is 0. Means in Cj minus Zj row, all basic variable must be 0. Always, in every iteration you can find it. In every iteration, you here these are the 3 basic variables. You can easily see all values is 0. Right? So there is no doubt that all basic variable is always 0. If any of the non-basic variable is also 0, that is the condition of alternate optimal solution. You can also here check S1, S2, S3, these are the basic variable, and basic variable is always 0 in Cj minus Zj row. If any of the non-basic variable is also 0, because x1 is not the part of this basic variable table. If x1 is not the part of this basic variable table, so that is non-basic variable, and if any of the non-basic variable in Cj minus Zj row is 0, that indicates a multiple optimal solution problem. Means that value can enter into the basic variable in next iteration. Means this is the key column. This key column means x1 will enter in the basic variable table in next iteration. Then we have to calculate theta. Theta again is calculated on the basis of 6 upon 8 by 5, 4 upon 2 by 5, 6 upon 4 by 5. So minimum value of these 3 is this. So this is the key row. Means in next iteration, S1 will leave and in place of x1, x1 will enter. Right? And this is the pivot element. In next iteration, it must be 1. And other than the pivot element, all element of the key column must be 0 by applying the matrix operation. Now the important thing is that if 0 is entering anywhere, it will not affect the value of objective function. There is a only possibility the combination of decision variable will change, but the objective function value will not be changed. Because you are entering 0. The most positive value is 0. If you are entering 0 in the next iteration, then there is no change in the objective function. There is only change in the combination of corner points. Means you can easily observe here in the next iteration. This is the next iteration. In next iteration, it must be 1 and these value must be 0 by applying the matrix operation. So as long as we apply this matrix operation, we are getting, again you can observe this Cj minus Zj for all the basic variable is 0. This Cj minus Zj for all the basic variable is 0 again. And still you can find out 0 we can again enter because it is non-basic variable here. It is non-basic. If any of the non-basic variable, that is the condition of multiple optimal solution. And you can also observe the value of z is 40 here, z is 40 here. Means there is no change in the objective function because the entering variable is 0, entering value is 0. Most positive entering value is 0. If you are entering 0 into the basic variable table, does not affect the objective function value. Only the combination is changed. You can see the combination of solution is here. You can observe the combination means the corner point is different. In that case, the corner point S1 is equal to 15/4 and x2 is equal to 10 and S3 is equal to 15/2 and the z value is 40. One solution is this. Other solution, x1 is equal to 15/4. Oh, sorry. Here is the, oh, sorry. This is not the correct one. This is the right hand side. Okay. S1 is 6, x2 is 4. Okay, just a minute. I just erase it. Oh, sorry for that. Sorry for inconvenience. And these values are S1 is 6, x2 is 4 and S3 is 6 and the z value is 40. That is the solution number 1. Solution number 2, x1 is equal to 15/4, x2 is equal to 5/2 and this S3 is equal to 3. This is 5 and again the z is equal to 40. So this problem has two solutions, the same value of the objective function in both the case, only the corner point are different combinations, right? So this problem belongs to the multiple optimal solution problem. And how we can identify in the case of simplex algorithm? If any of the non-basic variable in Cj minus Z0 is 0, that is the condition of multiple optimal solution. That 0 can enter, that value, that variable, that decision either surplus variable can enter into the basic variable table and will not affect the value of objective function, only the combination of the decision variable will change. Are you getting my point? Yes. Okay. So there are some solution number 1 is this, solution number 2 is this. And what is the meaning of that? We have multiple optimal solution. The meaning is simple. We have more than one solution. We have a problem, and for a problem we have more than one solution. More than one solution means now if I am comparing both the solution, we can also find out which one is better. In operation research, or you can say in optimization technique, which result is better? We can decide on that basis. We can easily observe here S3 is 6, here S3 is 3. And these are the slack variable. If the slack variable is the part of the solution, because they are not contributing in the objective function, the indication of the slack variable is only that these are the unutilized resources. These are the unutilized resources. So in the solution 1, there are 6 unutilized resources. In the solution 2, there are only 3 unutilized resources. First criteria to check which solution is better. Obviously, in first case, we have shaved more resources. Another one is the decision variable must be integer value. Why integer value? Because generally in operation research, we are dealing these decision variables either machine or man. And man and machine can't be in fraction. 15/4 man, 15/4 machine does not indicate anything. So if the values are integer, that solution is always better than the non-integer value solution. So in that case, we can say both are the solution of the problem. We cannot deny it, but the better one is first solution because it has integer values. Because machine man can be divided into the integer part. 3 machines, 4 machines, 4 men, 3 men. We can't say 15/4 man. We can't say 5/2 machine. Right? So integer value solution is always better solution in the case of operation research. Right? So these are some observations, and these observations generally I have discussed already. In graphical method, how we decide the optimal problem belongs to the multiple optimal solution. Just by deciding the slope of the objective function. If the slope of this objective function is just parallel to any of the binding constraint, and that binding constraint line has the same optimal value at more than one corner point. Any point on that line segment represents the alternate optimal solution with same objective function value. But in case of simplex algorithm, I have already discussed, if any of the non-basic variable has zero coefficient in Cj minus Zj row, then exists alternate optimal solution in the simplex algorithm. Right? So, from practical standpoint, multiple optimal solutions are useful because they allow us to choose among many alternatives without sacrificing the objective function value. Right? And it is also important which combination we have to choose, because we have alternate solution. Which combination we have to choose, which combination is best for us, that depend upon the problem to problem. Generally, choose the one which could save some resources. Always try to choose that value which can save some resources. Just in solution 1, we have the unutilized resources is 6, means we have saved 6 resources to find out the optimal value. And other reason is definitely the integer value solution, because in operation research generally we are talking about the man and machines and goods generally. So goods, man, machine are always in the integer form. So unboundness, now the second condition is unboundness. Again I am demonstrating it, how we can identify unboundness in the case of simplex algorithm. So again, this is the maximization problem. Constraint, these are the constraint, this is the non-negativity restrictions. The first step in simplex algorithm, we have to convert into the equalities converted into the equations by adding slack or surplus variable, and then find the initial basic feasible solution. After getting the initial basic feasible solution, we can convert into the tabular form, then proceed to further iteration by iteration. We are getting progressive better value to find out the optimum value. And how we can decide? We have to reach to the optimum value by with the help of Cj minus Z0. If all value of Cj minus Z0 for the non-basic variable is negative, then we have reached to the termination criteria. So again, here we can see it is the equation belongs to the equality type. If the equation belongs to the equality type, so firstly we have to check for adding there is a requirement of artificial variable or not. If there is no requirement of the artificial variable, then directly without adding artificial variable we can find out the initial basic feasible solution. So in this problem, without adding any artificial variable we can get the initial basic feasible solution just like this. But because this x4 has a coefficient of 3, so we have to divide entire equation by 3, because we are interested to consider this x4 as a basic non-basic variable, or we can say the basic variable, right? So in next class I will discuss the unboundness, how the unboundness can be identified in the case of simple simplex algorithm. Thank you.